Hello students, welcome to lecture number 3 of the module tariff. In this lecture, we will discuss different types of tariff. Of course, the tariff are not same for all type of customers or consumers. So let's discuss what are the different types of tariffs that are being generally being incorporated. First one is simple tariff. What is simple tariff? Here in this tariff, fixed rate per unit of energy consumed. Here, all types of customer, whether it is domestic consumer or it is industrial consumer, all types of consumers are being charged at a fixed rate per unit of energy consumed. Basically, this type of tariffs are very simple. Here, only one type of meter is sufficient enough to meet the demand of different types of consumer. Only one type of meter is necessary. But there is some disadvantages associated with this type of tariff. For example, in this type of tariff, no discriminations is being made. Means if you are a domestic consumer, then also you have to pay the amount. The same amount will be charged for the industrial consumer also. So this does not encourage the use or increase use of electricity. Why? Because if same type of tariff will be implemented on different types of consumer, then how the industrial consumer whose load demand or whose consumption is more, they will be encouraged to use more power because their consumption is more. But if they have to pay, suppose 60 paisa per unit, so industrial consumer, if they are also paid, have to pay for 60 paisa per unit, then it does not encourage them to use more and more electricity. And in this type of tariff, the per unit delivered is also very high. I have taken the example of 60 paisa, but the practical case, the rates are much higher than the example that I have taken. So, in order to remove this disadvantage, the next type of tariff, that is flat rate tariff. What is flat rate tariff? Here, different types of consumers are charged at different uniform per unit of rate that is being used, per unit of consumptions. For example, if light load means domestic consumer, if they are charged at 60 paisa per unit, then industrial load or industrial consumer, they will be charged at 55 paisa per unit. Obviously, the disadvantage that is associated with the simple tariff, that disadvantage has been reduced or that has been removed in this flat rate tariff. But again, some more disadvantages are associated. What is that disadvantage? Let's take the example first. For example, for domestic, suppose if it is 60 paisa per unit, and for industrial, let it be 55 paisa per unit. So this is good. But for domestic consumer, whatsoever be the size of the house, for example, if it is a if the consumer is poor, so they also have to pay 60 paisa per unit. But suppose there is a big house where the consumption is more, they have to also pay 60 paisa per unit. So this is not justified, na. Both are different. Both are domestic consumer. It is fine. but their consumption is different, but the charges are fixed. So this is the disadvantage of flat rate tariff. Here only segregation has been made in terms of types of consumer, if it is domestic or if it is industrial. But in the domestic also there can be different categories. A small house, its consumption will be less. They have to pay 60 paisa. A big house where the consumption is more, AC, more number of ACs, fridge, different electrical equipments are running. They are also paying at 60 paisa. So this is not good. Next comes the block rate tariff. What is block rate tariff? Here, when a given block of energy is charged at a specific rate and succeeding block of energy are charged at progressively reduced rate, it is called block rate tariff. Means, let's take one example, arbitrary example. If the tariff is such that for the first 30 units you will be charged at 60 paisa. For the next 25 units, if you consume, then your rate will be 55 paisa per unit. Mind it. And another category, that is for the remaining units, it will be approximately 30 paisa per unit. So see here, for the first unit, 30 units, whatever type of consumer you are, whether you are domestic consumer, whether you belong to industrial consumer, for the first 30 units you will be charged at 60 paisa per unit. After the 30 unit, from the 31 first unit to up to next 25 unit, means second 25 units, you will be charged at a reduced rate, that is 55 paisa. And after that, so total of 30 plus 25, that is 55 unit. Beyond 55 unit, if you consume, then your rate will be 30 paisa per unit. So see, as we go on increasing the consumptions, your rates are going on reduced. So whatever problems we have faced in the first two category, all types of problems has been solved in this block rate tariff. Am I clear? So this is the block rate tariff. It majority of the cases block rate tariffs are the preferred one. So this is the end of lecture number 3 of the module tariff. See you again in the fourth lecture, where I will be discussing another types of tariffs. This is not the end. There are other types of tariffs are also there. These are the first 3 type of tariff that I have explained in this particular lecture. So stay tuned in for the other type of tariff in lecture number 4. Thank you, students.